Hey everyone, this is the Average Halo Gamer, and I want to talk about why Halo multiplayer lost me with Halo Reach, but Halo Infinite brought me back. Before we get started, I'm working on more videos related to Halo. Please like and subscribe to be alerted when I release them. You can also check out my website at averagehalogamer.com or by following this QR code to see other ways to follow me, including on Twitter. Before going too deep into this topic, I want to clarify here that I'm talking about the multiplayer part of Halo. Even though Reach multiplayer lost me, I still loved the campaigns and would continue to play every one at midnight. So these critiques are only for multiplayer. In another video, I will talk about my history with Halo as a whole, as well as the campaign of Reach. Now before Reach came out, I played a ton of Halo 3. Enough so that when Xbox put out the Xbox Museum in 2021, Halo 3 was still my most played Xbox game. For me, Halo 3 was peak Halo. I don't know for sure if I actually played it more than Halo 2 since it appears the museum did not show original Xbox titles. Before Halo 3 though, I did play a ton of Halo 2 on Xbox Live and Halo Custom Edition on PC. While on the topic of PC, if anyone knows of anywhere that still has Xfire playtime information, I would love to find my original Halo playtime. Unfortunately, while I cannot find exact playtime anywhere, I can pull up my achievements. For Halo 3, I can see a pretty steady pattern of unlocking achievements starting on September 25th, 2007, when Halo 3 first released, until my last achievement was gained on August 7th, 2010, basically right up until Reach came out. In contrast, if I go look at Halo Reach, I see the vast majority of my achievements were unlocked on September 14th, 2010 when Halo Reach launched, largely tied to the campaign. I then gained one the following day, then a long gap until I gained a few more on July 10th, 2011. So when Reach launched, I beat the campaign, tried the multiplayer, and realized it was not for me. Then I tried again almost a year later, and still decided it was not for me. Now what was it about Reach that made me leave multiplayer for a series that I loved so much? Bungie had experimented with the Halo formula with each iteration, often to mixed results. Halo 2 brought us dual yielding, Halo 3 added the equipment. Both of these fundamentally changed the formula, but the game still largely felt like Halo. Now I know there are other changes in each of these games, but to me, these are the big ones that changed the formula. But Reach introduced the loadout system, which was too much of a change for me. One of the things that I always liked about Halo was that when you spawned, everyone started with the same setup. Everyone was on equal footing with needing to go find equipment, guns, and grenades. If you picked something that you did not like, you could just go find a replacement. In contrast, with loadouts, you were no longer on even footing with everyone else. Sure, you could argue that everyone had access to the same loadouts, but it still caused an imbalance in my mind. You were also unable to change your mind until you died. If you made the wrong choice, you were at a disadvantage until you could change it again. But then once you did die, you only had a few seconds to decide what else you wanted to use. While I disagree with the loadout system in the first place in Halo, there is a good chance that if the actual armor abilities were different, I may have been convinced that it was a worthwhile addition. To me, the hologram was completely lackluster. Maybe if you were fighting against AIs, but they always did the same path and then they just stopped. I hated that they changed how active camo works. I still don't understand why they chose to affect the radar with it. I can see the situations where armor lock can be useful, but the quick response time was not something I liked in gaming at that time. The jetpack was a cool idea, but I feel like it complicated map design, and if you did not choose it, you had a major disadvantage in many modes, but especially objective. Now Sprint I love, but just not as an armor ability that you had to choose. I am glad this became a staple of Halo in later games. Now what about Halo 4? Or Halo 5? Why did it take until Infinite for me to come back? For Halo 4, it still had the loadout system, so I did not give it much of a chance either. Even if they had changed how the system works, the fundamental nature of the loadout system is not something I wanted in an online game. Now Halo 5 is a bit different. Halo 5 has been something that has been interesting for me to go back and re-examine. Until very recently, after Halo Infinite launched, I did not fully understand the rec packs. I thought that the guns and vehicles were used in all multiplayer and not just Warzone, so that immediately turned me away from the game. I thought the game was pay to win. Now I view this as partially my fault for not properly realizing that rec packs were limited to Warzone, but also just an issue that the rec packs existed in the first place. Had they not existed and 343 attempted to add loot boxes to the game, it would have been a non-issue. I have actually gone back during the last couple of weeks and played Halo 5 and have found that the multiplayer was actually pretty great. I am disappointed that I did not find out about this sooner and could have been playing some great Halo for years. But I guess it is what it is now. Now that we have Halo Infinite, I am as addicted, if not more so, to Halo multiplayer than I was back with Halo 3, and 1 and 2 before that. For me, Halo Infinite is nearly everything I wanted Halo multiplayer to be. It felt like 343 went back to the Halo formula with Halo 3, rethought all the equipment, and then re-modernized, ignoring much of the baggage introduced by Halo Reach, 4, and 5. I might even be willing to say they went back to the formula of Halo 1 and re-modernized it, but there are clearly aspects that have been influenced by Halo 2 and 3. They nailed the formula in a way that no Halo game had for me since Bungie started messing with the formula, in my opinion surpassing Halo 2 and Halo 3 thanks to the lack of dual yielding. Let me make one thing clear though, this doesn't mean that Halo Infinite is perfect, but for me it does enough to keep the game fun for a long time. We do need more weapons and maps, bug fixes and other improvements, but the gameplay is nearly perfect out the door, and we have a fantastic base for them to build on top of for many years. But after Reach, I waited 11 years for the form of Halo multiplayer we got with Halo Infinite. I can give them time to add content while I'm having as much fun as I am. The gameplay is what has brought me back to Halo time and time again, and gameplay is why I did not stick around for Reach, 4, or 5. Thank you so much for watching. Did Reach also lose you as a fan of Halo multiplayer? Was it another Halo and then Infinite brought you back? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious how others in the community feel. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. I am always happy to hear feedback on how I can improve. You can also check out my website, averagehalogamer.com, where I have links to anywhere you can follow me. Until next time, this is the Average Halo Gamer.